Hello, I'm recording this again because my first recording failed. However, I can tell you the first time I played it took me 23 minutes. So I'll take my time now and just walk over my steps again just to show it off. We're doing uh, the November Clues by Sam, the end of November, the Sunday Clues by Sam. This is the last one of the month and it's an evil difficulty, I believe. Okay, so let's get started. Both criminals below Gus are connected. Here's Gus, and only two tiles can be together. So these two. And because it says both, it implies there's only two, so you're innocent. Hey, my spatula is gone again. That's a cool theme. There will be a lot of spatula references. We'll try to keep track of those. That clue is done. Column A has more criminals than any other column, and all criminals in column A are connected. That's a good hint. We already know column D has two criminals, which means if we look at where our criminals have to lie, if there must be at least three to have more, and they must fall either in this box. They must be connected, right? Let's do a little different color here. They must be either in that box, in this box, or let's do a little yellow here. This box, oops, this box right here. What do you notice? Logan is always in the box. Therefore, Logan is a criminal. Only one of the five innocents on the edges is Chloe's neighbor. Okay, so how many neighbors does Chloe have on the edges? One, two, and three. And only one must be on an innocent. So when we think about this how can I be an innocent? Because that means the other neighbors of Chloe must be criminals, and all criminals in column A are connected. Therefore, Hall is a criminal. And he didn't take the spatula. How nice. Um, Next, let's think about the following. I don't know. This part took me about 5 minutes to get past. But if I recall correctly, Pam cannot be an innocent. Let's think about why. Um, so if Pam were to be an innocent, Amy will have to be a criminal, so you can have the three criminals. And Deborah will have to be an innocent. However, now I need a second. I need another innocent to complete the five. And it must be Vince, right? It must be Vince because if I put a criminal here, it will be disconnected and that's not allowed. Therefore, Vince must be innocent if Pam is innocent. And if Pam is innocent, that's five innocents. One, two, three, four, five. Therefore, Ghost is a criminal. But that gives me three criminals in column D and three criminals in column A, and that's not allowed. Therefore, Pam is a criminal. Then we hear only one of the three innocents, neighboring K, is in column C. Okay, what does that mean? Hmm. K has only three innocent neighbors. Olive is one. One more will be here. That means the third one must be Gus. All criminals in column B are connected. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. How can we use it to our advantage? Let me show you. The way we're gonna use this, it's by considering the following. If all the criminals in column B are connected, that means in one of the edges, I must have an innocent, right? There must be an innocent either here. Oh, whoops. An innocent either here or here. Because everywhere in between, they must be connected, right? So either all of these are criminals, or alternatively, you are innocent and you are a criminal. And then you could have any number of criminals, any number of innocents. They must be connected. However, notice, remember, one of the innocents is between Amy and There's an innocent here and an innocent here, right? There's a 1-1 between these two. And I must have an innocent in column B by what I just explained. Therefore, those are my 5 innocents, right? I have 1, 2, 3 here. One will be A1, C1, and the last one will be in column B. Therefore, A5 and C5 are criminals. Okay, so you're a criminal. You're a criminal. And he didn't take no spatula. Okay. Sue has exactly 2 innocent neighbors. Okay, that's interesting. Because I think that can help us figure out some of the criminals in column B. Let's see how we can do it. So, if Ronald were to be innocent, Wanda will have to be innocent. And immediately, I could have done this here, I guess. If you're innocent, you have to be innocent so that they're connected. And Sue will have 3 innocents around her, which is not allowed, therefore you're a criminal. There's an equal number of criminals in column B and C. Okay. Interesting. Let's continue finding the criminals around Sue. Now, we know that you are a criminal. Let's go ahead and blend that down. Can Maria be an innocent? That will make you a criminal. That will make you a criminal. That will make you an innocent. And because they all have to be connected, that will make you an innocent. Okay, that's interesting. Because column B and C, we know, must have the same number. However, I know there's only 1 innocent here, which means I'm gonna have another criminal here. Let's say is Jason or whatever. That's already 3 criminals in column C and not in column B. Therefore, Maria must be a criminal because Maria as an innocent does not work. Only 1 cop has exactly 5 criminal neighbors. Okay, only 1 cop has exactly 5 criminal neighbors. How do we use that? Only 1 cop has exactly. It could be Hal or it could be. It won't be Sue, right? Because Sue has 8 tiles around her and 2 of them will be innocents. Therefore, 6 of them will be criminals. So it won't be Sue. It could be Noah. For Hal, Hal has only 5 tiles around him. So all 3 of these tiles will have to be criminals. If Amy is a criminal, Deborah is an innocent. If Chloe is a criminal, Wanda is an innocent. And if Wanda is an innocent, Noah must be a criminal. Right? And then column B has 4 criminals. Therefore, you have to have 4 criminals. Is there a problem with that? Let's think about it. Hal has 5. Noah has 6. Sue is also good. 4 and 4, and they're all connected. Okay, so this scenario works, which means I haven't learned much from it. Let's try to make Noah have 5 criminals, which means Noah must have 3 innocents around him. Now, for him to have 3 innocents around, I need to just pick one innocent. It could be Isaac, Jason, or Sue. Let's just try Isaac. We'll go clockwise here. If Isaac is innocent, let's see what happens. If Isaac is innocent, Chloe must be innocent. Wanda must be guilty. Sue needs a second innocent. Kay had only 1 more, so you're criminal and you're criminal. And since you're a criminal, Amy must be innocent. Does that work for me? I think it works if Sue is an innocent, right? Because now I have 3 criminals in column B, 3 criminals in column C, and I have my 2 innocents there. Now, does that mean that Noah got exactly 5? No. In fact, none of the cops got exactly 5 criminal neighbors, right? Noah has 4 innocents around him, which means 4 criminals. Sue has 2, which means 6, and Hal has 2, which means 2 criminals around him. Okay. That means Isaac must not be an innocent. So Isaac is criminal. I deny everything, including taking the spatula. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So now it gets a little more tricky. Where I guess the picture becomes a little clearer, right? Let's see. Noah could have 5 innocents. Or must it be Noah? Let's think about this. We know Isaac is not it. So let's see. If Jason is an innocent, that's the line of thinking we're carrying, right? For Noah to have 5 criminals, Sue will have to be the criminal. Now, we know there's only one innocent around K. One more innocent. Therefore, you're a criminal. You're a criminal. If Deborah is a criminal, Amy is an innocent. Sue needs a second innocent, so it will be Wanda, which will make you a criminal. Is this okay? No, I don't think it is, because we have 4 criminals in column B, right? 4 right here, and 4 in column A, but column A must have more criminals than any other column. Therefore, this fails if Jason is an innocent, right? If Jason is an innocent and Noah must have 5 criminal neighbors. Let's see what happens if Jason is this what I'm thinking? Was it Jason that caused everything to fail? Jason is an innocent. There's 2 criminals here because of K. You need an innocent, so it's you. You need a criminal. You being a criminal means you're an innocent. 4 criminals. 4 criminals means it fails. Yeah, so Jason cannot be an innocent. Jason is a criminal. That spatula, take it. I did not. Okay. So now, what can I test next? I can test if Sue is an innocent. And that will be the last, I believe that's the last test for Noah's 5 criminals. Let's see. If you're innocent, what else do I learn? Nothing. Oh. If you're innocent, Noah has 5 criminals. And therefore, Hall must have an innocent here or here. Let's say it's you. Then you will be a criminal, which will make you an innocent. And then column B and C needed to have the same number of criminals. But you already have 2 innocents and you only have space for 1 more. Therefore, that doesn't work. Okay, so let's try it again. Say you are innocent. You need to have an innocent. Let's say it's you. That makes you a criminal, which makes you an innocent. But once again, the same problem arises. You have 2 and you have 1 innocent. Therefore, Noah doesn't have 5 criminal neighbors, which means Hal must have 5 criminal neighbors, which means both of these must be criminals. The spatula thou seekest was not by my hand taken. That spatula's absence is no fault of mine. Since you're a criminal, you're an innocent. Since you're a criminal, you're an innocent. Since Sue has 2 innocents, you're a criminal. And since you have 4 criminals, you must have 4 criminals. Boom! It says 4 too, but remember, this is my second go at it. My recording failed. My first recording was, I think in the first recording I solved it at 23 minutes and like 12 seconds. So we'll say under 24 minutes. Let's take a look at the flavor text. I think the last one I was missing was, I hope this spatula theft is you need to solve. I hope this is the last spatula theft you need to solve. That spatula, take it. I did not. I deny everything about the spatula. Oh my gosh, no! Like I totally didn't take the spatula. I ran out of ideas. I guess I took it in. I never knew there'd be so many ways to deny the spatula theft. That was funny. Spatula theft. Anyway, that's that. My voice is giving up. So we'll call it there. I'll see you next week, maybe. Cheers.